I got the bloodlust. Me too. I want to kill. Let's kill.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to The Bloodlust. This is your go-to podcast for classy broads talking horror since 2014. This is episode 256 of the program. Tonight we are talking about the long-awaited release by Oz Perkins' Longlegs. Very hyped by Neon, very cool marketing campaign. We will discuss the success or failure of the movie in this here episode. My name's Amy, I'm your fearless leader. Joined, as always, by our lovely and talented co-host, Jamie.
Howdy.
Hi. I shouldn't say as always because you were not on the last episode.
Right. I was just going to correct you, but there you go.
Did you watch Maxine yet?
No, not yet.
No? It's okay. I don't know. I was a little sad after how great Pearl was.
Yeah, okay. I might wait till it's streaming. We'll see.
I think it's a wait
so
for
much
streaming.
theater action, so yeah.
Yeah, I think it's solidly fine to see at home.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. So, we're talking about an Oz Perkins film. Oz Perkins, listeners may know, is one of my favorite horror directors working, which is why I have been very excited about this movie coming out for the past, year. And what I really like about Oz Perkins is his aesthetic. I love the mood and the look and the tone of his movies. So that got me thinking, and our roundtable question for this episode is, which horror director has your favorite aesthetic? Oz Perkins is definitely one of mine. I just love the mood, and I feel like all of his films have that mood, whether it's a big budget kind of more studio release like Gretel and Hansel or something like The Blackcoat's Daughter. I really like the mood. It's always very oppressive and dreary and weirdly precise compositions, and I really enjoy the stark tone and the oppressive nature of his movies.
They're definitely moody.
They are very moody. It's that atmosphere for me. It's my favorite thing about movies, I think. And another one of my favorite aesthetics is Peter Strickland's, the guy who made Barbarian Sound Studio and Flux Gourmet and The Duke of Burgundy. He also did one for, what was that cool anthology we saw of different international horror? What was that called? The Field Guide to Evil.
Yeah. Yep.
He did a very interesting, the Cobbler segment of that, too. He has very cool music in his movies. I listen to his soundtracks a lot. One was by Broadcast, who is a band that is one of my favorite bands. And there was another by Cat's Eye. The Duke of Burgundy soundtrack is also very good and good to listen to while you read. And I really love, along with the music, his title sequences are always really interesting and stand out. And I love especially the title sequence for Barbarian Sound Studio. It's just so stylish.
Well, nice.
Yeah, what are some of your favorites?
That's what you love, stylish.
Stylish is what I love.
Uh-huh.
I also really like what's-his-name's aesthetic, Alex Garland.
Yeah. He's also one who for sure can create a mood.
For sure.
I always block Men out of my brain because I just really didn't like that movie at all. And I still haven't seen Civil War.
I haven't either. It's time.
I mean, yeah, I'll see it eventually, I know.
I was very disappointed by the reviews. It made me not want to see it, which made me sad. I hope they were wrong.
I'm pretty sure I've only read a handful, but they've been largely positive, so.
Well, hopefully they're right.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite, aesthetic-wise, your favorite horror directors?
Well, I'll give you one.
Okay.
You've already said Alex Garland, and I like at least two of them anyways. I like the atmosphere and aesthetic that he creates in his films. But otherwise, I'm going to say Robert Eggers.
Oh, very good.
Just, The Witch is one that just sticks with you. It creates a tone early on, and it's just ever present. It's like its own character in the movie.
It feels so homemade, too. There's something about it that feels homemade, just the way that you can see the stitching on the characters' costumes and stuff.
Yeah. And the soundtrack and everything just adds to it, and it sort of sucks you in and creates this like dread that you know is coming, and the color scheme and everything is so bleak and gray tones, and it's always going to be one of my favorites. And then the Lighthouse is totally just takes a crazy turn and makes this movie that is just totally out there, but also sucks you into this weird, like, what feels like, hallucinatory sort of like fever dream of a movie.
The look of that movie is so cool.
Oh, yeah. And I don't usually love a black and white, like, palette, just sticking with that, but like everything that's happening in it feels weirdly colorful, in that there's just, you can imagine the sea, you can imagine like the mermaid and stuff, like there's color implied almost, but there's
a lot of dynamics between light and dark. I think that makes up for the lack of color.
I just think that like you focus less on the fact that it's a black and white movie, and there's so much going on, and it's such an interesting and totally batshit crazy story with some two batshit crazy characters, and it's just so enjoyable, and I'm really excited for Nosferatu.
Yeah, did you see the trailer for that when you saw this?
No.
No?
Nope.
I saw it.
Lucky.
I also saw the trailer for The Substance. Have you heard about that movie? That's Coralie Farge's new movie. The woman who made Revenge. Remember that one?
Yeah, I wasn't super wild about that one, but it wasn't terrible.
Well, this one is getting lots of critical acclaim, and it stars Demi Moore, and it's a body horror movie.
Lovely.
About things people do to stay young.
Awesome. Well, that sounds great.
Yeah, the trailer looks insane. I'm very excited about it. It reminded me of Titan or Titan or however you say it.
Okay.
And that's another director whose aesthetic I like very much. Mm-hmm. Both Julia Ducournau and Coralie Farge.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Well, the Titan one, or Titan, whatever. I'm not French. But yeah, Robert Eggers for sure, just because it feels like all-encompassing. And even The Northman, which I really liked, but I don't think was on par with the first two.
Yeah, me neither.
I just liked it because I like historic epics and stuff with mythology and the gods and stuff. I always like that. But you definitely could tell it had his touch to it with regards to sort of the atmosphere that's created within the movie and the sort of like mythos behind things and this supernatural.
Accuracy.
Yeah, like you felt that, and it absolutely created a more sort of vibrant movie. Mm-hmm. So I'd say he's like right now would be my favorite.
I'd say that's a good choice.
Me too.
Listeners, which horror director has your favorite aesthetic? I'm imagining we're going to get some Dario Argento fans up in here.
I'd be shocked if we didn't.
He invented that aesthetic. I mean, it seems like. I know Mario Bava and other people had their hand in Giallo too, but when you think of Giallo, mostly you think of Dario Argento and his look and those bright colors.
I know I do, even though those aren't my favorite movies.
Some of them are cool. I don't know. We've talked about it ad nauseum, I guess, but sometimes, as much as I like the band Goblin, I don't find their scores to really go with the action in the movie so well.
Sure.
I mean, yes, in Suspiria, yes, for sure. But in some of the other movies, I just think they overwhelm the action.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I would absolutely go see Goblin perform live. But as far as what they add to
a movie.
Argento's movies, I don't know if it makes anything scarier. It makes it funkier.
We love
That's for sure. But do let us know who your favorite horror directors are in terms of aesthetic. I expect to also get some Ari Aster fans.
I mean, yeah, he's also a choice.
He is a choice. Did you ever see Beau is Afraid? We never talked about it.
No, I have not.
No? I would really be interested to see what you thought of that. It is worth your time.
For some reason, I have just like a weird, from what I've read and heard about it, like I have a weird feeling it's going to like trigger a lot of my anxiety.
The first portion definitely will. And I would say...
So I have to very much be in a pretty specific mood to be able to like sit down and digest something like that.
You just have to remember that it's a comedy. And just keep remembering that
there's nothing funnier than my anxiety.
Nothing can hurt you in it because it really triggers anxiety. Great. But I think it's in a hilarious way.
Okay.
At least the first third of the movie.
I'll definitely check it out eventually just because I like to be a completist for the most part with directors that I really like.
Right.
So, and plus I've heard mostly all good things about it. I can tell it's one that I have to be in a very particular state of mind.
Yeah, you have to be in a mood.
Yeah.
It's true.
I don't know if I've been in that mood very lately, so we're just gonna hold up on it for a little bit.
It'll be there waiting when you're ready.
That's what I figure.
So, you want to start talking about Longlegs?
Sure.
Terrific.
All right. So, Longlegs, rated R. It's a runtime of 1 hour, 41 minutes. It's written and directed by one Mr. Oz Perkins. It stars Micah Monroe, Nick Cage, and Blair Underwood. It premiered at Beyond Fest on May 31st, 2024, and it was released in theaters on July 12th, 2024. It's currently sitting at 86% fresh for critics on Rotten Tomatoes and 63% fresh with audiences.
And I'm just going to go ahead and say fresh. Because Kay misses when you don't say it.
Oh, I'll start saying it just for her.
Thank you, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
This is a serial killer movie, a supernatural serial killer movie. Like Silence of the Lambs, it features a rookie FBI agent. In this case, not
a rookie
Clarice Starling.
Female FBI
Correct.
agent.
Thank you. This time, not Clarice, but Lee Harker. And she is a little psychic. And also has some kind of personal connection to this serial killer, Longlegs, who has been implicated in several family annihilator type murders. That's when one person in the family kills all the rest of the family, and usually themselves. And that's what's happened in these cases. And you would think, how is a killer connected to this if the dad is killing the rest of the family? But there are these coded letters that are signed Longlegs that appear at each crime scene, and those are the only piece of physical evidence that was not already there. So there are how many? A lot, over 30 years. 10 or so.
Yeah, we find later.
And the daughters in the family have birthdays close to the 14th of the month. And
Within
that's the only
6
connection.
days.
Within 6 days of the 14th of the month. And that is the only connection that they have. But because Lee Harker has this strange psychic ability, she has been put on this cold Longlegs case. And finds that she gets help with some of the codes and stuff from who appears to be Longlegs himself. So that's what it's about. This had a really cool marketing campaign where they didn't show Nicolas Cage's face, and the trailers were really cool, and they had these like phone numbers up on billboards where if you called the number, you could hear Nicolas Cage speaking in his weird Tiny Tim kind of Longlegs voice.
Mm-hmm. It was very Tiny Tim-esque.
Very Tiny Tim-esque. Very chilling. And I think it was cool. I liked what they did, although they kind of made themselves be in danger of having the it comes at night effect happen, which you can sort of see in that Rotten Tomatoes score, where the marketing campaign made it look really, really scary and really, really like something, and then it ended up being kind of something else. But it was made with less than $10 million, half of that being Nicolas Cage's salary. And it's made over $21 million in its first 2 days in theaters and is already doing very well. I think it's number 2 currently, behind Despicable Me 2.
Well, that's some solid marketing.
It is. And it's obviously Oz Perkins' best film. It's Neon's second biggest film after I, Tonya. and probably going to be its biggest film. I, Tonya was terrific.
Yeah, it was.
So, what did you think about Longlegs, Jamie?
Well, I really liked it. Anyone who's been a listener of our show knows I am not particularly wild about Oz Perkins.
No.
I can appreciate that he makes a really well done and well crafted movie. They're beautiful movies to watch. He's obviously a very skilled director. He's obviously very good at creating a particular atmosphere and feeling and aesthetic like we're talking about in his movies. I can appreciate that, but his movies and how the story develops is just not... So far, they haven't really hit with me. Like, I liked Gretel and Hansel. The story, oddly, and that one wasn't the greatest in my opinion, but I loved how that movie looked. Mm-hmm. And I think of his first three, that was the most engaging for me. So after seeing this one, I would say that this is my favorite of the Oz Perkins movies.
Very good.
And I think for folks who are maybe similar thinking to me, where you're just like, highly atmospheric movies are maybe not your bag, and that's not what you go to first, this is the most like easily accessible or like digestible. It's...
You think even more so than Gretel and Hansel?
I do, because I think this one felt almost more horrific than Gretel and Hansel. Like that one's still
Gretel
very
and Hansel
much...
was gross.
It was gross, but it felt still very fairy tale-ish in the way it looked and felt. It kind of had like a lightness to it that took away from some of that. Now, maybe that was just my reading of things, but this one, at least I feel, had... I mean, it was clearly paying homage and had some cues from Silence of the Lambs, which is one of my absolute favorite movies.
Yeah.
And so I think that just naturally adds a much darker tone to it. So it's a little bit more in the horror camp than Gretel and Hansel, even though maybe that one's more accessible, where it's like an arguably more like slumber party movie.
Yeah.
I would say, whereas this one...
It's also PG-13, and these are ours.
Yeah, for fans who are in our boat, where we've seen a ton of them, and you're looking for something more interesting and something that does a little more, says a little more, this, to me, is the best of what he's done so far. I really liked it. I thought the story was really interesting, and it felt very crime thriller, like...
Which we enjoy. We enjoy a procedural.
Love them. Fucking love them. Can't get enough of them.
Have you seen Anatomy of a Fall yet? It was one that was nominated for Best Picture last year. It's
okay.
No?
Maybe I haven't, but
it's a courtroom procedural. It's good.
Okay,
I think you would like it.
I probably would. I love courtroom procedures. I love crime stuff. I love crime stuff that has a little hint of supernatural aspect or occult stuff to it. Like that just butters my bread. Love that. So I liked that. All of that being said, I think the first part of this movie, like the first third of this movie, whatever, is the strongest, because I think the very opening scene and then the scene immediately following that were the two best scenes in the entire movie for me.
That opening scene was so creepy. Well done. Just
the simple line of, I wore my long legs for you today, or something like that. Like that, you don't know what that means. It creates a weird sense of like unknowing dread. Like,
what is this creepy adult, and what the hell is he talking about?
You don't see his face. You see a little girl and a weirdo adult that you can't see his face. So you immediately think like, oh, something obviously really bad is about to happen. And then he says like a weird line like that doesn't have any meaning. Like, that was just really kind of a chilling, impactful line. And then I think the scene immediately following that, where you first meet Lee Harker as an adult, and she's going out on, doing like a door-to-door canvas looking for this serial killer, and she's going out with her partner. And you first learn of her sort of psychic abilities. and she's able to just stand there and point and say that's the house that he's in. Like, I really liked that scene, maybe because it was like the most like a very heavy crime procedural scene, and again that kind of harkened a lot back to Silence of the Lambs, which I can't stress enough. I love that fucking movie. I think it's like an almost perfect movie.
I think it's a perfect movie for sure,
in my opinion. So I liked that a lot. I think Micah Monroe did an absolutely great job in this. I was really thrilled to see Blair Underwood because I really kind of love him as a character actor, and hasn't been in a ton of stuff. And it was really nice to see him back, and I liked him as this sort of like whatever he was. Like, he wasn't the FBI or director, but he was like her case director or whatever hierarchy there is. I liked his role in this.
This whole cast is very good.
Yes. It really is. I like how the story progressed. I liked how there were hints of the supernatural and occult aspect that are just kind of flashed on the screen as it goes, and you pick up on some of them, but maybe not all of them. So it's definitely a movie that warrants a second watch, because you'll wanna check on those and try to find them. That being said, I think for me anyways, like, it fell short in a couple. One, I think the marketing did it a disservice in that, but not totally, because obviously it got people into the theaters to see it. So it's working. But two, and this is also on me, that I set my expectations real high. I kind of bought into the like, okay, this is going to be scary. This is going to be scary. This is going to be the scariest movie that I see this year. And honestly, I can't even think back onto everything we've covered so far this year. It might be like the scariest, like, atmospheric type movie that I've seen this year.
And When Evil Lurks. Yeah.
But that being said, like, I did not find this movie scary. I didn't really find anything about this scary. I found the beginning, that first scene that I was talking about, I found that unsettling and creepy. And I think that sort of created a tone and a tension that I was excited to see go to like bigger places. And I think it just kind of, because there wasn't the scare factor for me, that sort of just dissipated and just kind of dwindled as the story went on. Not to say I didn't like it. I love it. I love a crime solving anything. But like, it didn't scare me. So that was really kind of a bummer, and it was hard to ignore.
That is a bummer.
And I didn't love the ending of this. I kind of hated the ending. So that took away from it. But it didn't necessarily take away from my enjoyment of the whole movie. Like, I liked it. I had fun watching it. I laughed at a couple parts, weirdly.
I thought it had some very dry humor in it that worked.
Which was pretty unexpected. I think it had some pretty unsettling and shocking scenes that, like, were very interesting. Again, I would say that just goes back to Oz Perkins, even though his movies haven't really been for me, but he's clearly a very skilled and very talented director. And he's just able to create a mood and get the lighting just right and get the camera angles just right and get the right sort of framing in a movie to show things in a way that's just visually interesting. So you stay...
To show things in the way that helps to sell the story, even.
Yeah, and you stay very engaged, even if the rest of it's not necessarily doing it for you. Like, you want to keep watching because you feel like you have to and you want to, because it's also beautiful. Like, there's a lot of really nice shots in this, and...
Very precise.
Yes.
Very precise shots.
Yes.
Did you notice all the inverted triangles in the shots?
Oh, I counted very many of them.
Not just the ones that flash up, but the way he would frame things so that you'd have... I thought that was very cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, this is a movie that absolutely, if you enjoyed it even to some degree the first watch, it deserves a second, because it's one of those fun ones where when you realize there are things that you maybe missed, you want to watch it that second time, because then you want that to be your reason for watching it the second time. Like, you want to look out for those things and find those things.
That was why I went and saw it again.
Yeah. So I definitely will. I liked this, like, quite a bit. It's, like I said, it's my favorite of his. I think Micah Monroe did great. I do think, now, while I liked the character of Longlegs, And I thought I'm a Nick Cage apologist. Like, I just really kind of love him and appreciate that he's just taking all these fucking crazy, wacky ass roles. And I like that he's doing that. I think the sort of nutty intensity that he brought sometimes with the character of Longlegs didn't tonally fit with everything else that was going on. Like, everything else was kind of, you know, your humdrum, like, run-of-the-mill, bleakish crime procedural. And then you've got this character who acts in a way that is, like,
he's like a children's show host almost, the way that he talks.
Yeah, and how he moves, and he does a lot of, like,
big and his weird, like,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he makes gestures
and
and things that are very sort of I found them distracting for me. Like, I thought it just kind of took away from the tone of the rest of it. I think maybe if that was dialed back slightly, it would have worked better for me. But that's not to say that I don't think that he did a good job. I think he did, and I think for Nick Cage, that was pretty reserved.
I think it was for Nick Cage.
Yeah.
I was expecting a little bit more classic Nick Cage off the wallness, and I was surprised at how much he actually reined it in.
Yep. I think my issues are more with the character itself.
Yeah.
See, and I think I wanted to, but just didn't find them as creepy as I was hoping they were going to be. Like, I found the look of his face a little distracting, and I found just, like, the slight over-the-topness of the caricature of Longlegs to just not match everything else. So it felt more like a distraction than anything.
I almost liked that it didn't match. I think that it made it more disturbing because he was that character in this very regimented, very everything else falls in line kind of world.
I think I just watched too many, like, legit crime things that are all very one tone. So to see something that has at least one character in it that's so, like, set apart from that and is just a much more unusual, off-the-walls sort of character like that, it might work better the second time I watch it, but I didn't love it the first time. I thought he did a really good job. Again, love Nick Cage, and I think he could have been crazier, and they reined it in, which is impressive. There were certain aspects of it that just I didn't love. But all in all, I really liked this movie. I thought it was a super enjoyable watch. I was disappointed that it wasn't as scary as I hoped it would be. But I loved all the stuff that's hidden throughout it. I loved the look of it. And I loved that it was, you know, obviously kind of like in a lot of parts a love story to a Silence of the Lambs type movie, which is really kind of just right there in my wheelhouse. I
also found it to be reminiscent of the one-off episodes of The X-Files.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I was very pleased about, especially, you know, taking place in the 90s.
Yep.
Dealing with FBI. I thought about the X-Files a couple of times while watching this.
Yeah.
Especially with psychic powers and the FBI.
Yes.
You know.
Yep. It was good. I liked it quite a bit. I would recommend it for sure. I'd probably rate this a 4. And the only reason it's not a 4.5 is because I just didn't find it scary.
That's fair.
And that was really kind of a bummer for me. Again, I will accept that might largely be my fault because I set my expectations too high. But then again, the marketing set your expectations that high. So
that's what they wanted.
They built you up to think, like, they marketed it as the scariest movie you'll see this year.
Right.
And so, of course, that's what I was expecting and was not what I got.
Well, I found it to be pretty creepy. And I found, like, not just creepy. I think he's like I said, he is a master of atmosphere to me. He's got perfect form. The shots were just eerily precise. The compositions, the atmosphere to me in this was just perfect and off the chain. I found it creepy. I don't know. I mean, there are moments to me in this that are scary. That first, when he ducks into frame in that first part of the movie, in the opener, that to me was scary. There's a couple of other shots in it, because of the editing, because of the score, I found them to be scary. Overall, the movie to me just has an ominous atmosphere and tone, which is my favorite kind of horror movie.
Sure. Yep.
So to me, it worked. I found this to be almost perfect in terms of look, in terms of style, in terms of score, in terms of editing. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just about perfect in all of those ways. The plot was, to me, a little bit generic. And the exposition kind of story that that is told in it, to me, was not needed. And it was done after testing, audience testing. And I really am kind of sad that they chose to include that, because I think that the plot was perfectly spelled out without it. But it doesn't diminish to me the execution of a vision and a style that he's accomplished here. It does stop me from giving it 5 stars, but I still think it was a really good movie and one of my favorites of the year. It's not my favorite of his. My favorite of his is still The Blackcoat's Daughter. I find them to be very similar in tone and even in subject matter. And I think that if someone were to ask Oz Perkins, though I don't think anyone has yet that I've read, if those two movies exist in the same world, I would think he would say yes.
Interesting.
And the plot to The Blackcoat's Daughter, to me, is... it's not similar, but it is similar in a way, and it's not spelled out, and the movie is better for that. It's a little bit... this one's flashier. The acting is bigger. It's a bigger movie all around.
Yes.
But I don't think the writing is quite as good as in Blackcoat's Daughter. This is a very worthy addition to his catalog, and it shows growth as a filmmaker stylistically, for sure. But it's not my favorite. I would also say I liked the ending. I didn't like the exposition dump. I wasn't exactly super duper sold on the story, but I like an ambiguous ending. And it's my favorite type of ending. And with a movie that's very atmospheric and stuff like this, I'm okay with an ambiguous ending. And I welcome them. And I found the movie to be very haunting. I found myself thinking about different scenes and images from it afterwards. And that, to me, is a mark of a good movie and one that will stand the test of time. The dry humor worked for me. Dolls are always creepy.
And these were especially creepy dolls.
Very Uncanny Valley dolls.
Yeah.
I really liked the imagery with the dolls, with the weird, it was very Twin Peaksy, the metal ball that was inside of the doll's head. That gave me very Twin Peaks The Return. I liked that Nick Cage was sort of modeled after a glam rock, kind of a over-the-hill glam rock kind of guy, and the fact that they played T-Rex throughout this. Did you know that when T-Rex first started out, they were called Tyrannosaurus Rex, and they were more like kind of psychedelic folk music?
Oh, well, I love that.
Yeah, you should listen to them. There's
Interesting.
I think Midnight Warrior is one of the album that I have of theirs that's good. It's good, fun folk stuff, and it's interesting because some of it kind of sounds like Elvis Perkins, and Elvis Perkins is Oz Perkins' brother.
I do like Elvis Perkins.
Me too, and he did the score for this movie as Zilgi or something, Zilgi, but it's Elvis Perkins.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was really into the editing of this. I thought that a lot of the scares came from the editing. I was surprised that, like his other movies, most of the violence is off screen. It's a violent and dark movie, but the violence isn't violence that you really witness that much, which is interesting. How did you like Alicia Witt in this? I was surprised to see her.
I knew she was in it. I knew that was her. I thought she was like almost unrecognizable.
She was.
But I thought she was great.
I think she was really good and really creepy in this. I also really loved the Kiernan Shipka cameo. I thought she was really creepy, and that scene was very creepy to me.
It was creepy. It was not scary. Like, again, it sets a tone. There's a creepy tone in a lot of it. it's just wasn't enough. I wanted more.
I'm okay with creeps. Creeps is fine. If a movie never elevates above creepiness, but it can hold down a creepy tone the whole time, I'm okay with that.
I sometimes am. Just, I don't know. Didn't think it was creepy the entire time. But it had its moments. And that Kiernan Shipka scene definitely was. She did a really nice job with that.
Mm-hmm. And I like all the satanic references in it. I like anything with a code.
Sure, with a you need
anything
a
with a cipher.
And
Yeah. I love that. Okay, what about something that I learned when watching it again, when she does the psychic test at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
She says several things that are relevant to the case.
Mm-hmm.
That we don't know about at first. She says mother, she says father. When she says father, it's an inverted triangle.
Sure.
She also says camera, which is the name of the farm where they find the doll.
Yep. Interesting.
Yeah. Little things like that throughout.
Yeah, that's fun.
Did you notice the monster, or the Satans popping up?
I noticed some of them. I'm sure I didn't pick up on all of them, but...
I think there's only 3 times.
Okay, I think I caught like 1 or 2.
You can see it in the doorway when she's reading the card that's left to her by Longlegs. At the window when she's investigating in the library. In the background when the murder's committed. At her mom's house. And in the reflection of the front door at the Carter home at the end.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I caught those last couple.
I think I caught the second to last one, but not the last one. But I only saw one the first time I saw it. And that's also... present in Blackcoat's Daughter, by the by, several times.
Yes.
All in all, I really enjoyed this very much. It was the atmosphere. I really liked the idea of the movie. I liked the story, even though the way that they lay it out bothered me a little bit. That's what's keeping it from being a 5-star movie for me, because everything else worked really well. I liked Cage's performance very much. I thought, especially for late stage Nicolas Cage, I thought it was very good. And I give it a 4.5.
All right.
And I recommend that you go see it in the theater because the sound design is very effective in the theater.
I would also recommend theater.
And it's interesting to me to see something else in the same world as the Blackcoat's Daughter. And it makes me want to hail Satan all over again.
Well, there you go.
So should we talk some spoilers? Let's talk spoilers here.
All right.
So I don't know if you've picked up on it, but Oz Perkins has a parental abandonment kind of issue.
Yes.
With Gretel and Hansel, with Blackcoat's Daughter, with this.
Sure.
It's also worth noting, we've talked about his pedigree before. His dad was Anthony Perkins, who played Norman Bates, who was in a lot of horror movies, especially in the later part of his career, who was a closeted actor who died of AIDS. Well, Oz Perkins' mom, Barry Berenson, never told her kids that Perkins was closeted or that he even had AIDS until after his death. And so I think that comes into play in a story about a mother doing something and lying to her child to protect them. Mm-hmm. And he said that it's not that he blames his mom, that she was doing the best that she knew how to do to take care of him.
He was just working some shit out.
Yeah. And so I think that very much comes into play in the plot of this movie, which is about a child being targeted by a serial killer and the mom making a deal with him to help facilitate his crimes so that he spares her daughter. Which is what happens here. So all along they're thinking, well, Longlegs has to have an accomplice. And they couldn't figure out who it was. Well, it turns out all throughout her childhood, after age 9, Longlegs was living in her basement.
Yep.
So he was the man downstairs. Literally. and he was doing it in service of the man downstairs for him, which is our old buddy Satan. And so he was a doll maker, and he was making these dolls, which he imbues with a little bit of himself and a little bit of a way to, I don't know, get in touch with the man downstairs.
Kind of, yeah.
Because it's what enables Lee to be psychic.
It's got a little essence of Satan.
Yeah. And even the guy who examines the forensic guy who examines the doll said he thought it was whispering to him in his ex-wife's voice. So they're just little magical orbs of Satan.
Yeah.
That make people go crazy, and he puts them in these dolls, and Lee's mother delivers them to the place, to the birthday girl. And then eventually, I guess, comes back and removes them, or she's just there when it happens, right? She just witnesses the murder.
Yeah. I think we got that from the one scene.
And she's been doing it all this time to protect her daughter.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think that we could have gotten this very easily from the actions without having the voiceover of Mom.
Yeah.
But Blair Underwood's daughter is targeted. She has a birthday on the 14th. She's the final killing needed.
Which you could see that coming a mile away.
A mile away.
She invites her to her birthday
party, which was a funny scene.
Yes, of course. The whole scene was funny because she's obviously so uncomfortable there.
So uncomfortable.
Not interested and not sociable, but this little girl's like, you want to come to my party?
You want to come see my room?
Yeah, why not? Jesus.
So she gets there to the house. Her mom is already there. She's delivered the doll. The doll has made them all crazy already. Mm-hmm. Blair Underwood kills his wife. She shoots Blair Underwood. She also shoots her mom. She goes to shoot the doll. And the gun locks. And she's not able to do it. So it ends on probably the idea that Lee is going to be influenced by this thing and possibly continue on with the killing. Or maybe not.
Or I figured the little girl was going to become influenced in some way.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But again, you did not like
kind of
that
ambiguous.
ending.
I didn't like the very end.
The Hail Satan?
Yes.
Oh. I like the Hail Satan because it was also in the Black Coat's Daughter, and to me it tied the two movies together.
I thought that was cheesy and unneeded.
I didn't mind it.
That was all. Thought it was kind of dumb.
But that's what we think about Longlegs.
Yeah. One of the other funny lines, just real quick, was I chuckled real hard when Blair Underwood's character was like, "We're going to the kitchen, but you're going to stay in the kitchen." He said it to his wife. It was just like
yeah, right.
a very funny, dry humor moment where it's like, "Oh, we all know you're going to get killed in there," but it was just like, "We're both going to go to the kitchen, but you're going to stay in the kitchen." It was just very funny to me. Yeah, and I suspected the Longlegs living in her house when she was unable to open the locked door. Like, if you've seen enough horror movies, you think like, oh, where's that door go? Probably goes to a basement. This is an old farmhouse. Like, what's in the basement? You only see Longlegs in his basement home. You never see him anywhere else. Like, oh, I wonder if Longlegs is living down in the basement.
I didn't put it together the first time that she wakes up in the basement at the end. And she's in the same room as he was in. I didn't put that together till the second time I saw it.
Yeah, I didn't know for sure, but it was just like I wonder if that's the case. And I kind of thought early on, like, oh, the accomplice is probably either Lee or her mom. Like, there's obviously some tie-in there that
there's definitely a tie-in, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought the girl, I mean, she was obviously just a minor side character, but the girl who worked at the, like, hardware shop or whatever.
That's Oz Perkins' daughter.
Oh, really? Well,
yep.
She was hilarious. I thought that scene was so funny.
It was.
She was so uninterested in her job, and he was doing all these, like, crazy hand movements and, like, weird things, and she's just like, "Dad, the creepy guy's here again." It's just like, I just thought that was funny.
She's having none of it.
Yeah, she's like, "Dad don't get paid enough for this."
She's probably, if she had a different birthday, she would have been dead for sure.
Oh, I'm sure, yes. But I loved I will say all my favorite parts were the crime parts, where when she's first putting it together, and she puts out all of the like numbered note cards, and then she's laying things on each of them. Like, I love that stuff. It's very meticulous. It's very organized. It's very like problem solving. It scratches an itch that I have with certain types of movies, like crime ones in particular, where it's like I just love seeing that, like putting clues together and
me too,
figuring things out. I liked that. There is one part that bothered the shit out of me.
What's that?
And I haven't checked on IMDb yet to see if it's listed as a goof. But when you firstly see Lee get back to her house, which I loved, by the way, and apparently this was filmed in log cabin. British Columbia.
Yeah, it was in Vancouver.
In Vancouver, yeah. Becky told me that. Yes, I loved her cabin. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. But like when she first comes home to it, she comes in and I noted that she didn't lock her, like the chain lock of her door. That is in
IMDb.
Is it? Okay. I noted that she didn't do that and I was like, why wouldn't you do that? Like,
you're an FBI agent. Lock your door. You just saw someone get shot.
But then the next scene of the door, you see it locked.
It is, yeah.
And then they make a point to show her, go back and lock it when she thinks there's like something going on. And I was like, oh man, that was a grievous error to me.
People on IMDb were also upset because they played the Price is Right theme song in this, and they were playing the version that was like 2006.
Yeah, the newest, the newer one. It was not the. Because I was like, this kind of sounds familiar, but it's not the one that I watched when I stay homesick from school. So
this doesn't taste like Burners.
There's something off about this. But yeah, those are just some little notes I had. I loved her house, though. God, it was so nice. I loved that cabin. I thought her boss, the FBI guy, was so funny.
He was.
How he was so nonchalant about everything, where he's just like, we're going out for a drink. I know you don't have a drink, but I'm going to drink.
That's right.
Or then he's like, want to come in and meet my wife and daughter? She's like, I'd rather not. And he's like, well, you're coming.
Well, you're coming anyway.
Like, yeah. Like all of it's just very, I like how he just sort of like immediately accepted her. And he's like, I get it. You're good at this. You have a thing. Like,
half psychic is better than not at all psychic.
For sure. It had good characters. For sure.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was worried that you didn't
definitely.
like it.
No, I liked it. That really the biggest disappointment was just that with all the hype from the marketing and stuff, it did not market it as the creepiest movie that you will see this year. It absolutely marketed it as the scariest, like most terrifying. Like
it is, though. I mean, that and When Evil Lurks are the scariest movies I've seen this year.
When Evil Lurks scared me way more. Like, I feel like that created a tension in me when I was watching it that was far above at what I felt at any point in this one.
I would say there are moments in this that are as scary as When Evil Lurks for me.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't feel that at all. But that doesn't mean it's not a win. It just means that I need to stop raising my expectations and buying into the hype.
Yes, maybe. We all do.
Yeah.
I was just glad I wasn't disappointed by this, especially after
I was too. I knew it was a risky watch anyways, because while I, like I've said, appreciate him and recognize that he is good at what he does, his movies are just not my cup of tea.
They just scratch this particular itch for me.
And I love that.
The themes that he talks about, the loneliness in his movies, they really resonate with me. I wish
they did more for me because he's so good at what he does and what he creates, and I can appreciate all of that. I just wish they hit me in that way. They just don't.
Yeah, I wish they did too. Even on The Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, I'd watched that a couple of times before bed recently. I just love it. I mean, nothing happens. Not a damn thing happens, but man, I just love the ambiance of that movie.
All I can remember about that dumb movie was the fucking heat miser. The like silly ass hairdo that she was wearing. That's my least favorite for sure of all of them.
I'm sure. Well, listeners, that's what we think about Longlegs. I am very curious to know what you think. Tell me what you think about Oz Perkins in general. What you think about how this one stacks up to his other movies. Are you a fan in general? Or are you not? I mean, I might have to fight you if you're not, but I tend to let people have their own opinions. I try to let people have their own opinions.
That's the beauty about the horror genre. It's so subjective. Like,
It is.
it's just some are going to hit you because everyone has different fears or different things that hit that nerve in them that make them feel unsettled and uncomfortable. And that's obviously not going to be the same for everybody.
That's right. Something about Oz Perkins just jibes with me and what creeps me out and what's effective to me. And I'm glad that he exists, and I'm glad that he made a movie that a lot of people are liking. It makes me very happy.
Yeah, good for him.
And good for us.
Yes.
So, listeners, for our next movie, we have a listener request. We have gotten a request from a listener to review The Night House. It's a David Bruckner film, and I just rewatched The Ritual yesterday.
God, I love it.
And I'm excited to revisit this. So get back with us in 2 weeks, and we're going to review The Night House. Right now, it's a $3.99 rental. So if you haven't seen it yet, lay down your money. It's only $3.99, cheaper than a cup of coffee. And watch The Night House. And join us back here in 2 weeks' time to talk about it.
Sounds great.
I went to Bookfest today at Eastern Market in Detroit. It was very, very crowded. And it was very hard to look for books. But Josh Mallerman was there, signing his new book.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm. So I got some new horror books. I got Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk, which I've never read, although I've read Guts, and it was gross. I got a Graham Masterson book, who wrote The Manitou, which I liked. So this is another one of his books. It's got a fun cover. Let me show Jamie. It's called The Wells of Hell. I got an Arthur Machen book, The King in Yellow.
Ooh, fun. Yep. That is a fun cover.
Yeah. And I got Dead Wake, the Eric Larson book, and I'm excited about that. Currently, I am reading a book called A Child at Home Alone with Strangers by Philip Fracassi, who wrote another book that I read recently called The Boys in the Valley.
Nice.
So this is my second book by him, and so far it's pretty interesting. A guy takes his 9-year-old son and steps into traffic in front of a bus and is killed, and his son is put into a coma and has all kinds of broken bones and ribs and all things, but then he recovers and is psychic from this accident.
Sure.
And he's about to get kidnapped by some criminals.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
Can't wait.
I'll let you know.
Please do.
You reading anything good?
No.
No?
I don't
Not
have
reading anything?
time. All my free time, I have to play with the cat to get his kitten energy worked out.
I understand. Fair enough.
There's a lot of it.
Jimmy got a new kitty named Gnocchi.
Yep.
He's very cute. I get to see him as soon as we sign off. So,
yeah.
Listeners, we'd like to thank you for listening. Jamie, thank you for joining me.
Of course.
I'm glad you enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, me too.
We will talk to you next time. And until then, I've been Amy.
I'm still Jamie.
Thank you, good night, and hail Satan. Praise his name.